Welcome to the Aurorian Age, ArcheAge cast episode number 21. It's going to be fabulous! All right, guys, tonight we have with us Chrys.
Hello.
Tier Omega.
How you guys doing?
And Skinny Dash.
Skinny Dash.
So tonight we are going to be talking about the North, what's going to happen, what's it take, what's going on up there.
What is going on up there, Bear?
What is... There is, well, you know, I couldn't let Marissa outdo me with her hair. And I tried to do the duck face a couple of times. I really tried. I practiced in the mirror. That's about as good as it gets.
Okay.
So that's all for you, Marissa. We love you, everything that you do. But anyway.
The wig is too powerful.
Yes, it does do something when you start wearing it. It kind of takes over a little bit. It's kind of strange. I don't know if I feel smarter or dumber, but I do keep playing with it.
I like how you play with it.
Yeah, it's... And you twirl it, yeah. Put it up in a ponytail.
Oh.
Anyway, okay, so
It's too much.
Chrys seems to be coming and going and coming and going.
Ooh.
But anyway, so the North is this Tuesday, right, guys? Tuesday on the 4th at time. So y'all be ready for that. We did get it confirmed that it is going to open up exactly at 1:00. So y'all be ready for that.
Yeah. At what time?
Clock.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, so yes, I was told that I should have done something with the beard, but you know,
I know,
man
like how
has
could you not do enough? Like really, that's all you did.
He should have told me he was doing something, so I could have done something with my goatee.
Yeah, that'd been nice.
Yeah.
We need to get a tier like the from like Disney World. We need to get him the Jack Sparrow hat that has the dreadlocks, and then there we go.
That would be awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, I was also given this mask to wear. It's one of these little stretchy masks, but I decided not to try to freak everybody out tonight with the ghost mask. I figured the wig would be enough.
No, whenever you stretched that out, it looked like you were stretching out a pair of underwear. I was like, what?
Here's my underwear.
Yes. These are the stains. No. It's,
the stains were in a skull shape. That'd be fantastic.
Anyway, I guess we lost Chrys completely that time.
No.
No, they are not panties, guys. It's a mask. There's no extra holes. But yeah, I've never been one to wear a sock on my head, so I don't know. My Little Pony, probably no. But anyway, so I don't know if y'all have been following the threads, you know, on the Saphira forums. You know, there's a lot of talk about who's going to get a castle and what it takes to get a castle. And there's been a lot of confusion on when you can actually, you know, place housing and stuff like that. So we figured that tonight we would cover our bases, let everybody know what it takes to get a castle, and let everybody know kind of about the housing, the area of influence around the castle, what that really means, what it actually does. So I'm going to pass it off. One of you guys want to go ahead and start? I know that it's hard to, it's like mesmerizing.
Well, I think the first thing that's key to success to getting a castle is becoming friends with Grievance. And since I've done that, my mission's accomplished.
Well, we'll find out if it's accomplished anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been stabbed in the back here lately. Even by some guildies. We were playing another game offline and stuff like that. And he was like my friend, and I found out he was spying on me. We were playing Beyond Earth, but we won't get into that. But guildies stabbing each other in the back.
Yes. Beyond Earth. We are so good at that game.
You guys are good at setting it up too.
Yeah. Half the game. Not to go off on a complete, tangent. It's the hair. I swear it is. But if you try to play, Beyond Earth with like 80 of your friends, half of the game is getting it started. Once you get past that part, well, you've got half the game down. Anyway, so yes, getting up north, Chrysamir.
All right. First, let's talk about what it actually takes to do it. Okay.
All right. What it takes to make a castle. This is going to be fabulous. I just know it.
I'm so excited. You're really raising the excitement level here. So to get a castle, the short story is that you have to bring a special trade pack to one of the claimable areas, and you drop the trade pack on the claimable area, and it goes poof, and the whole zone belongs to your guild.
Easy.
In order to get that trade pack, however, is another story. So the trade pack itself. Really, Bear?
Go ahead.
Would you like to explain it?
No, you go right ahead. This is our trade pack, monkey.
Okay, there's the trade pack, monkey.
Trade pack, monkey. Got it. Okay, so in order to get that trade pack, you have to craft a purified Archean pack, which we will romantically call the glowy egg. To get the glowy egg, you have to, I think it's 100 Anya ingots and like 50 blood Archeum crystals. Now, Anya is a mining node that only spawns in one area of the north, in a tiny little sub-area of Exelok. It's the only place to get it, and it is a critical ingredient in making the egg. So, since there's only 4 castles to claim, what you're essentially looking at is as soon as Aurorian opens, there's going to be a massive influx of players to this mine to try and mine up these Anya pebbles. Now, first of all, only miners that have reached 50k proficiency can mine up these Anya pebbles, and it's going to be one of the most epic battle of the server's history. This only happens once. Castles will change owners. There will be sieges. Guilds will lose castles. They will gain castles. But this race for Anya is only going to happen once. So the entire server is going to be there. The server might just blow up because it can't handle the load.
Too much
Anya.
Well, and that's been a concern that we've talked about a couple of times, is just the simple fact that there could be anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 people in a small area. And you said it's a small area. I was told that there's 3 caves that have Anya. Is that correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, kind of. It's like, what it is it's like a ruin. And there's a couple of hallways, multi-level hallways of this ruin, and then there's 2 mines that are behind these stone walls, and these stone walls actually have to be mined and be broken down, which breaks open a door to these Anya mines. Now, I don't know how many guilds are going to deal with that, because there is Anya available in the hallways of the ruins. So it's just going to be a crazy mad dash to get it. I can tell you that there's not enough caves for everybody. So you're gonna have guilds blockading entrances. You're gonna have huge battles and ganking inside those mines, and it's gonna be a cluster. It is gonna be absolutely crazy.
Now, some of the things that we've heard people talking about, and I'm not, revealing anybody's secrets, because this has been all over the forums. There's people talking about using the what's the impenetrable circle-y thing that people cast down?
The defensive barrier.
Yeah, the defensive barrier. Now that is, you can break through that. That's not like, it's not set in stone that a guild can just continually pop those and keep people away from coming down that hallway.
Well, I mean, the hallway has a really large roof. So, I mean, guilds probably have enough people to permanently put up defensive barriers to block the lower half so you wouldn't be able to ride in. But because there's no turbulence in Auroria, you just be able to glide right over it. So that will be one strategy, but it won't be an end-all strategy. You'll still be able to glide right over the barrier and get in there. So it's one thing to do to try to keep people out, but it's not the end-all solution.
Yeah, and like I said, those, even if they do use imprison, that's the name of it, imprison. It can be broken. A horse that has charge, I know the Black Arrow has charge. I don't know what other horses, but those, if you charge at it, that will break down that wall. And of course, the bone wall, you can just right-clicky your way through the bone wall. So, but yeah, those are some things that you can look forward to. So, the other thing that we've talked about that we have to consider is the fact that, if you go in and put the right settings up, the maximum amount of people you can see is 200.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to...
There'll be a lot more than 200 people there for sure.
Yeah. So that's going to be stage one. Now, we've heard that in Korea and on the Russian servers, that when they bring the server up for that particular day, that everybody was ported back to wherever they're bound at. Now, we don't know if that's going to happen here or not, but, that's something that did happen on both the Korean and Russian server. So, I know that there's a lot of people that are going to be, logging out, trying to be a little closer or even bind closer and stuff like that. But it's really going to be a rush to see who gets there first. Because do you think it's going to be easier to defend a hallway, versus trying to actually break your way in?
Yeah, I think it'll be easier to defend the hallway. I think while you're defending the hallway and your miners are behind you mining, then that's going to be, you're going to want to hold that position as long as you can.
So, Tyr, how would you go about securing, a group? What tactics would you, suggest for, let's say there's a guild that just happens to want to do some mining? Are you on would you be looking to try to get up there and mine it? Or would you be looking to maybe buy it off the auction house? Because, we've heard about people that are going to be mining it and then getting it on the auction house so other people can buy it for ridiculous amounts of money.
If I was rich, I would buy it. If I was large, then I would try to lock down the hall and force people to go through wave after wave after wave of people. If I was small, then obviously I would have to use guerrilla warfare and essentially try and steal an egg after it's already made. But once again, that limitation of 200 people on a screen, and there's potentially 6,000 people up there, there's going to be a lot of people dying to ghosts that they can't see. And the respawn timers are going to get really, really long.
And that's kind of what I've been looking at, is that because if I remember correctly, if you're mining something and you get attacked, that stops your mining process. It basically interrupts you. So people are going to be using that freaking electric, jumpy around chain lightning effect thing. Do you think that'll stop you from mining?
Yeah, I think that AoE, like everything, is going to really come into play. Like all the hell spears, the frozen earths, like all this stuff. Standing back and just casting meteor after meteor after meteor. I mean, there's some pretty decent AoEs in this game. So, chain lightning, multiple cast chain lightnings. It's gonna be interesting. We're
And
gonna
don't
see how
forget
it plays out.
Tiger Strike. Yes,
Yep.
I love Tiger Strike.
Yep, that and the fears. Like, don't forget about the AoE fears, the Banshee's Wells and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That will definitely all the CC. And as far as I know, there's really no diminishing returns on CC in this game.
So if we're looking at, let's just use the low ball, 4,000 people, because I really think that's completely doable, 4,000 people. And they've even said that, the devs have said this is going to be so epic that they're going to have, bots that are just going to be recording this thing because it's this epic of a, event. So really what it's going to come down to is respawn times. If people keep getting killed over and over and over, it's going to be a battle of attrition possibly.
Mm-hmm. That's really what it's going to come down to. Like, you have to be in it. And that might be a strategy. Like, hey, you see these couple guys, you kill them as many times as you can to get that respawn timer as high as you can. Like, that might be a viable strategy depending on how many people you have.
Yeah. If somebody was able to kill an entire guild's mining folks, 20, 30 times, and their respawn timers, into the 5-10 minutes, which we saw at the end of Alpha when they did the big bash going out thing, and they had all the great big Dahudas and all that stuff. We saw respawn times that were going through the roof. I mean, so that's something to really to think about. Things that make you go, woo. I mean, so.
Well, and I think Death Starks actually kind of brings up a decent point as well. I think the only problem with that is that you might actually be splitting your forces that way, and that might end up to your detriment. But yeah, camping people at the spawn point. If you're a big enough guild, and you can afford to kind of do that, or if you're in an alliance, and you can assign someone like another guild in the alliance to camp the spawn point, and that's where all their forces are, and you do enough mining for both guilds.
Absolutely. And we've seen those strategies talked about. Like at one point, we had heard that only the guild leader could place down the golden egg, to actually capture it, and then of course that's not true. That's not the case. But we heard that might be the case, and we were like, well, man, all you'd have to do is just find out who the guild leader is, and keep them camped at the graveyard, and that they're not getting a castle. But that is not true. That is not the case. That would not be fabulous. To be very sad. No, that would not be fabulous. So, okay,
Yeah.
So let's say you're able to get how many Anya ingots do you need?
100.
You need 100 Anya ingots. All right, so you get approximately 2 to 3 every time you successfully mine, or do you just get 1?
You get 2 if you mine a little Anya one, and you can get up to 5 if you mine a big Anya mine. Now, the big Anya mines are only behind that stone wall that I was talking about.
So it's going to be good to knock that stone wall down, so you can get back there on those. All right,
well,
so
it'll be good. It'll be good for somebody to knock the stone wall down.
Yeah.
Somebody else can do that.
You get the 100 Anya ingots that you need, and then what do you got to do?
So you need to take the 100 Anya ingots, and first of all, the Anya ingots can only be smelted at the special
smelting furnace.
Yeah. So the smelting furnace that you actually craft, and you have to spend vocation points on.
Yep, takes 20,000 vocation points, and you have to be have 20,000 metalworking skill to get that smelter. Correct, and it has to be placed in a house.
Yep. So you have to smelt the Anya ingots at that thing. Then, once you have the Anya ingots, you have to go and get your 50 blood archeum. And
where do you get those?
General merchant.
So just any general merchant, and they cost. I imagine they cost gold, probably.
I think it's 1,900 in total. 1,900 gold in total for all the blood crystals that you need.
All right, so yeah, so let's say you're definitely going to need 2,000 gold to buy the blood archeum crystals. So you get your 50 blood archeum crystals, you get your 100 ingots, and then you make your monkey pack.
Yes. So the egg can only be crafted at a. That's very distracting, Bear.
All right. I was just trying to have a little fun here. Go ahead.
Clearly. So the egg can only be crafted at a Archeum workbench. A Regal Alchemy bench does not work, which means the egg has to be crafted in a town. Now, there is no alchemy workbench in Auroria. So you have to craft the egg on one of the main continents, or the pirate island, and then you have to sail the egg to Auroria. So when you see like the trailers for the game, and you see like the 10 or 15 galleons, then they're all sailing through the mists to Auroria, and you think, oh, that never happens. Everybody actually ports to Auroria. Well, it actually does happen, and it only happens once.
This one time.
It only happens once on the server, but it is real, and it is something that hopefully there will be some cool naval battles. Hopefully the Kraken will claim some eggs. But yeah, so you got to sail your egg across the ocean, and then you have to get to a respawn point, or you have to get to a reclaiming point, which looks like a big giant floating crystal somewhere in one of the zones. It's the little circles that you see on the map. And
well, the crystal's not floating yet. It's actually stuck in the ground. It
right,
doesn't actually float.
You restore it. The purifying Archeum egg restores the crystal, and that makes it your zone.
All right, so you get your monkey pack, your special little monkey pack, and you hide it away somewhere, and you sneak it up to Auroria. You fight the hordes of people that are going to be trying to take it from you, because we know you dirty dogs are out there that are going to be trying to steal somebody else's pack. And I can't blame you, because actually that's a pretty good strategy. If you don't have the miners, just try to steal somebody else's pack. So you got to get that up there. Now, what about all these people that are not going to be concerned about that, and they're just going up to do the land grab?
Well, those people have to wait. I know, right? You actually have to help your guild, or you're going to be late in getting land.
Oh, yeah. So you cannot place any property at all, 0 property placed, until an area is claimed.
Correct.
All right. So at least we got that out there. I hope everybody understands that. No property can be placed until an area has been claimed by a guild with their special monkey pack.
Can we all repeat that? Could we type that in chat or something? No property until claimed by a castle, just in case there's anybody out there in the world, anybody out there that happens to be very confused about this and wants to break alliances over it or something.
Oh, wow.
But yes, so all right, so you get your. Now, the reason that we've been calling it a glowy egg pack is, and well, I like calling it the monkey pack, but it really is. This thing is a very decorative egg, and it glows. It's got a glowy glow to it. It glows.
A glowy glow.
Yes, yeah. It's a very glowy glow. So and now what I'm expecting is that if there's enough people around, that the person might not be able to be seen, but I bet the glowy effect is still going to be seen. That's my guess.
Well, the purifying Archeum pack looks different from any other pack in the game, and it sticks out like a sore thumb, so it's very, very difficult to hide.
Yes.
We don't know if it makes this huge glowy effect that can be seen from miles away. but you're definitely going to be visible, if you don't stay hidden within 200 people or stealth all the time.
All right, so we got the monkey pack. We got it placed. Our crystal now floats. Oh, it's all fabulous for everybody in the guild.
Yeah.
Now, who all can place property in that zone then?
Anybody. There is a circle around where you place the purifying Archean pack that only the guild can put stuff in. And the intention of that area is that's where you'll put your walls, and that's where you'll put your keep, and that's, the castle. And in that area, the guildmaster can actually destroy any property in there at any time in order to change the layout of his castle whenever he wants.
Now that's what a lot of people lovingly refer to as the area of influence around the castle. And that's where a lot of confusion comes into play. Once you actually place your super secret monkey special glowy egg pack and claim it, then you get an area of influence around the castle. We think it's like 300 meters from the center there, is what I was told. Or maybe it's 300 meters across. Anyway, 300 meters comes in there somewhere. That is just for that guild that actually placed the pack. But the rest of the land is now open for anybody, any guild, any faction, in a guild, not in a guild, a potato that's smart enough to play the game, they can place land there in that area.
Yep.
That's good to know.
Anybody can do it.
So I got a potato over here that I've been trying to teach to play. He's not quite smart enough yet, but we'll keep working on it. I'm hoping that he can grab some land.
Can we talk about the taxes and how that kind of correlates to gold, and what that can be used for, and the tax kind of scale of where the controlling guild can set the taxes?
So once a guild actually claims that region, they will be able to set the tax rate for that zone. Anywhere from, I don't know what the minimum is. I think the minimum is 5%. And the highest I think I've seen it go is 50%. Now, those are just what I've seen. I've never owned a castle. Neither has my monkey. So we don't know exactly what the numbers are. But what we do know is that the taxes can be increased. So when you go to place, let's say that, I don't know, guild monkeys get an area and they put the tax rate at 50%. Now, when you go to place your land down, you have to pay the taxes. Because not only do you have, you've got a down payment basically that you have to put down to actually place the land, which could definitely be higher than what you're expecting if somebody jacks the tax rate up. But once you get the land placed, the taxes are adjustable by the guild leader of the guild that owns that area. So, 50%, whatever it could be. Now, that extra percentage actually goes to the guild leader. Now, what I've read is it goes to them in the form of tradable tax certificates. So then that guild can actually put those on the marketplace to be sold, and then that's how they can actually get money back from the people that are paying taxes. It used to be in alpha, it used to be just money because your taxes used to be paid in money. But now that taxes are paid in tax certificates, it's going to be, the extra tax certificates are going to go to the guild leader that are tradable, and then he can turn those into money. So there is a lot of money that can be made in tax certs. I don't know if anybody's, somebody in here with us that keeps coming and going. We won't name any names, but I know that person has quite a few properties that, that he's actually helping the guild with, and has had to, actually buy some tax certificates. So it can be quite expensive.
Yeah, tax certificates are not cheap.
Especially with the north opening up, right? So there's even more land for people to pay for.
Yeah, and I've actually heard that taxes are bugged right now, and they're supposed to be even more expensive than they currently are. I think right now it's like an additive.
Well, it doesn't go above 10. They tested it. Go ahead.
I thought it was intended to be like an exponential increase in taxes as you get more than 3 properties, but right now it's like an additive increase in taxes. So
there's
more.
There's actually a double bug with the taxes right now. One of them that you stated is it's supposed to, after 4, it's supposed to go up exponentially. And once you hit 10, it even goes up even higher. But that is broken right now. So if you actually have 10 properties, the price from 10 to 100 is all the same. But they're supposed to fix that. So anybody that's going to go up there and try to drop down, 50 properties is going to be hopefully in for a rude awakening with the amount of taxes that actually have to pay to even place the property down. So I would imagine you're going to see a lot of guilds out there that if they get that, they're going to jack those tax rates up to the max to start with. Or maybe they'll leave them low in hopes that a lot of guildies can get it and then throw it up real high. We're not sure how that's going to play out yet, but whoever the landowner is has a chance of making a whole lot of money with just those tax certs. Now, what else can we expect? We've mined our Anya, we've made our monkey egg glowy pack, we've got it up there, we've claimed the land, we've set the taxes. There's been a mad rush for people to get out there and claim land, which, by the way, don't expect the fighting to stop just after somebody's claimed the land. People are going to be fighting over actually dropping properties down because this is open PvP all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Indeed. I'm curious to see what how this kind of reshapes the politics of the game. This is definitely going to be one of those events that kind of reshapes the political layout of the game. So I'm interested to see how it's kind of shaped and formed after everyth's said and done and the smoke's cleared.
Okay, we had a good question. Not to interrupt you, I'm sorry, Chris. But the question was asked: is the tax rate just for the sphere of influence or for the whole state or region? The tax rate that is set is for the entire region, not just for the sphere of influence. The only thing the sphere of influence does is actually affect who can build there, because the guild leader of that guild can go over there and just knock a building down anytime he wants. So the only thing that the sphere of influence does is allow a guild to dictate what is built in that area. That's it. Go ahead, Chris.
I don't even remember what I was saying now. Thanks for that.
All right. Well, that's not fabulous.
The sphere of influence is intended for the castle itself. So, while it would be fabulous if you only set the tax rate for your own personal castle, that's not the way it works. It's for the entire zone, and that's how you get the money to pay off all of your big war funds.
Yeah, because that's something else that we haven't got to quite yet is, when does a castle become attackable? So let's say that, your guild wasn't able to get a castle and you still want one. Now, what we've read is you're going to have to wait 6 weeks in the beginning. After 6 weeks, there's going to become a siege certificate that will become available to be purchased off the auction house. And it's something that's bid on. There's not a buyout price on it. So whoever pays the most money to get that siege certificate is the guild that's going to be able to lay siege against that particular castle. So if you are charging a lot of money on your tax certs and you're selling those off for gold, you could, technically buy your own siege certificate back, and that way nobody could siege you.
No one can siege you.
Nobody can siege you.
Yep.
Yeah, if you buy your own scroll, nobody can ever siege you actually, but that's going to get pretty expensive after a while.
Yeah, it can. Now, somebody told me that, man, everybody's just coming and going. Do I need to take the wig off? Is it the wig guys?
Yeah,
Are you jealous of the
the
locks?
the colors from your wig is taking up too much bandwidth, and it keeps booting me into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got booted that time. First, the stream went down, and I was like, well, I wonder if they know if the stream is down. And then it wasn't me, or it wasn't the stream, it was actually me. I was like, what the heck? But someone actually brought up an interesting subject in chat that I was going to bring up after.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
After you get finished, Baron, he was talking about how easy is it to get flaming logs. Now, with the North, we know that there's going to be some other resources that's going to become available in game. You're going to be able to get Archeum trees and things like that. And I'd be curious to see what the opinions are of how this is going to change the game economy and items and all the things that come with the North. That's not just about the castles that still benefit and could change PvP and have lasting effects like that.
Yeah, so let's talk about the resources that also come with the North. You mentioned the flaming logs. Those come from the burning woods. You have to actually grab one of the mineral waters. That's wow! It just looked like Chrys slapped me. That was kind of strange. Mussing up my hair. So you have to grab the water. You have to go douse one of the trees, and then there's a chance that it will, peter out and not turn into a burning tree that you can actually harvest to get a burning log. So there's a whole RNG factor there. But you got the burning logs, you got Archeum, the Archeum trees, and now that's where you're going to get your Archeum logs from as well. Now, we don't know if they've got the change in yet, but they were supposed to have made a change to how the Archeum trees work. They're now supposed to take up 1/4 of a 16 by 16 farm. And they're going to you have to water them
Yeah,
once.
that change isn't in.
It is not in?
Nope, it's the same old Archeum tree.
Oh, that's kind of disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Bummer.
Big bummer there. I guess so. We're back to the way the old Archeum trees were. Now, the way those work is you can put 10 of them on a 16 by 16 farm. You have to plant them and water them. Then you have to wait 6 hours and you have to water them again. Now, this isn't regular water. This is the mineral water that looks like a node, a water node, that you have to go mine. So it takes mining to pick it up. Then it becomes a pack that goes on your back. Yeah, you mine it, and then you wear it on your back. Yeah, and
then you march on over.
That's right. You march on over.
And then you water your trees.
Water the tree.
Oh, and then you get ganked, and then somebody steals your water and takes it to their trees.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
So, but yeah, so if you plant your tree, then you have to water your tree. Then you have to wait 6 hours, and you have to water your tree again. And then it's going to be able to grow up and become its full-grown tree and have fruit on it. When you pick the fruit, you don't actually get fruit, you get Archeum dust.
Archeum dust.
And it's an RNG factor of what kind of dust you actually get off the tree. And then it goes into account, and then you have to water it again, and then it starts the timer again. I think it's a 12-hour timer, 10-hour timer.
12.
So every 12 hours you can go out and you can pick your fruit, and then you have to go mine it and water and carry it and water it again. And now, in my experiences, there's only 2 zones that have ample amount of water in them, and there's one zone that has a little bit of water in it, and in the other zone, I couldn't find any water at all. So if you want to do Archeum trees, you need to kind of research, which ones you want to go to so you can get water easier, because having to actually move the water across several zones could be dangerous. People could be ganking you for your water packs. So, but we got the Archeum dust that comes from the trees. You got the Archeum logs that comes from the logs. You got the burning logs. Is there any other resources that come from up north that we don't have access to right now?
What about the crafting materials to make the obsidian weapons and things like that?
Those aren't going to be in yet, as far as I know.
Right. From my understanding, that comes from Diamond Shores, which we're not going to get until the 1.7 patch.
Well, I think that the materials will be in. I think that the enemies will drop the materials. However, the actual ability to craft the weapons won't be in there. So I think the materials will exist, but the weapons will not. One thing that's worth mentioning is that hopefully with Aurora opening up, they're actually going to add the craftable gliders back. So you're going to be able to make like the Red Dragon glider and the Batman glider, and you'll be able to use those again. So I hope you've all been saving up glowing prisms while they've been cheap.
Yeah, so you got the gliders that'll be coming up. You've also got the farm wagon and the farm hauler. That they took that. Well, actually, you can go ahead and you can pre-purchase that, but you can't actually build it yet because it takes flaming logs and archeum logs. So that's why you haven't been able to build your farm wagons. Now the farm wagon is the one that hauls 4 trade packs and can actually water your crops, and then you can upgrade that to a hauler that will actually carry 6 trade packs. So that's going to be coming back in. We also heard that the submarine should be coming back in.
Yes.
Now the submarine got hit with the Nerf bat pretty hard.
Ridiculously hard.
Yeah, so it's not as overpowered as it was, and then now we've talked about this before. That thing was like way overpowered. If one submarine can take out 3 or 4 galleons by itself, that was a little overpowered. So, but where they did take it to, it's probably not enough. I mean, if you're having to shell out 2 Thunderstruck, trees, not logs, trees, and a royal jelly, and everything else that goes along with it, then it's probably not in a good scale. So, because I think you only get 10 minutes underwater breathing with it now.
Well, from the nurse that I saw a video that guy kind of doing a comparison from back in alpha whenever they hit it with a Nerf bat, and kind of true Tryon fashion, it was overpowered and then they seesawed it, so they made it completely underpowered. He was showing how useless the radar was. You can actually see things with your eyes before it ever even appears on the radar.
Right.
You can. The torpedoes, I think, still did pretty close to the same damage, but you could never catch anything because he, in that video clip too, he showed where the submarine on eco-fuel could be outran by a rowboat.
Wow.
So it really got hit with the speed nerf super, super hard.
Okay, so it's not fast. Its radar is not big enough to see your foot in front of your face. It can be, a rowboat's faster than it is, and you've only got, I think, 10 minutes of underwater breathing time. So it does have a torpedo, but you can't shoot anything because you're not fast enough to catch it. But I guess you could blow up a rowboat, So there's
Sounds
that.
like it could be okay as like a stationary weapon, like summon your submarines after you've already taken a galleon by force and used.
Guess we're back again. It looks like the beard may just be too much for the cast. I don't know. Maybe there should be a vote whether we should all wear wigs next time. Maybe if everybody had a wig, it could balance out the power. Who knows?
Yeah.
But back on to Lord Coins. Lord Coins is something that the guild leader of the guild gets that actually owns one of the zones. So they get 10 a week. Now, the armor used to have like some pretty phenomenal stats. If you go over to Mirage Island, you walk down the steps on the left-hand side there, you're going to see armor for your mount. There's a couple different pieces there, and then there's 3 sets of armor. You got your cloth, leather, and your plate. And I can't remember the names of all of them. Some of them had pretty cool names. The plate armor looks exactly like what everybody else has already got. If you were, if you paid the $150, all you have to do is throw a red dye on it, and it looks exactly the same. They took the stats off the armor. Holy crap! Lord Coins, 10 Lord Coins to buy this armor, and they took the stats off the armor. That blows my mind. Now, we don't know if they actually took the stats off the Lord's armor or not, but if they took the stats off the Lord's armor as well, that's going to be a crushing blow that I can't understand why Tryon would do that, but But yeah, so there we go. I mean, you can run over there. 2 weeks ago, there were still stats on the armor. Mags, one of our guildies, I think it was about 2 days ago, went over and looked, and they have taken it off. It is no longer there. It used to be you bought it, it had stats on it, it only lasts you a week, but the lord of the castle actually gets 10 every week that he can give out to a guildie. So crap, man. I mean, this is a non-fabulous thing that just should not have happened. It is so not fabulous.
Super non-fabulous.
Super.
It's anti-fabulous.
Anti-fabulous. There's some other things that happens with the castle. Maybe what we can do is next week is we could go into more detail about, some of the other aspects of the castle and maybe building castles, because there's a bunch of different options. You've got the walls and the gates and the defensive towers, and man, there's a lot that you can go into that, but we have run out of time for tonight. I guess, the mystical wig has worked its powers and made time go faster, I guess. I don't know. So
you're like a match, you light the match and you burn bright and then you fade out quickly.
There we go, man. That's what it is. It's better to burn. What was the saying? It's better to burn out than to fade away. I don't know. Anyway, so closing thoughts. Dash, let's start with you.
It's going to be... I don't even know what to think of Tuesday, because it's going to be just a massive mess, I think. Everyone's just going to be dying. And I think this is going to be like a day-long battle. I don't know about anybody else, but it's just going to be just massive bloodshed everywhere. And it sounds exciting.
Yes. Tyr, what do you got for us?
I can't wait. I'm really, really anxious. I might have to go taking off of a Battlefield Friends reference. I might have to get a poop bucket. The fighting might be less so long. So
awesome.
Bucket.
Tyr's getting a poop bucket.
Poop bucket.
Dash is confused.
Poop
Where
bucket
does Chrysamere
hype.
stand?
If there's one thing I learned from when the server first opened, it's that no matter what plans you make and how much preparation you do, ultimately you are at the mercy of the servers. So I hope that the servers last. I hope that it comes up. I hope that all of our enemies get stuck in queue, and I hope that they're all disconnected. But you know what? I know a lot of our enemies and a lot of our competition is out there, and they watch these streams. And to you guys, I say good luck. We'll see you on the battlefield. I'm sure secret alliances will come out. I'm sure long-time alliances will be broken. But the most important thing to remember is that we're all here to have fun, and let's have some good fights, and let's make it a battle worth remembering.
Now I'm getting creeped out by like the chains and everything. It's like I think a ghost is gonna come up behind me.
Okay, so my last thoughts. I wanted to touch on one thing that Terradin just said. He had heard that the recipe for the purifying crystal for the heart has been changed. That would not surprise me. It may take, chicken eggs and eco fuel, as well as Anya and apples. Who knows? Well, we will find out on the 4th. Guys, it has been good. It's been a great cast. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. And we'll just try to make the rest of them as fabulous as they can be.
Yay!
So everybody have a good one. Thank you for joining us on the Aurorian Age cast. We love you guys. Come back and see us soon. Everybody have a good evening.
Good night.
Bye, guys.